say hello and tell us how these last few weeks have been for you.
Great. Well, excited to be here. Obviously, we've been trying to get this for a few weeks, but schedule's been kind of wild. But really excited to be here. It's been a fun month, probably. I guess it is now, somewhere like that. But like being here with the staff, the administration, the people of Lexington have been wonderful to me and our family, and it's been fun to be here. Mark has done an unbelievable job building, a great program here, and just being a part of it. It's been, we've looked at some of these opportunities before. It just the timing seemed, better this time around for a lot of different reasons, but really enjoy working with Coach White and the defensive staff, very knowledgeable, group from afar, just looking and then being here, trying to adapt to this system has been fun. And then the players have been, really the thing that's really jumped out to me, along with the staff, is just the quality of players we have in the room. The leadership. The way these guys go about the linebacker room has been very impressive to me. And I've been a lot of different places, and this group brings great maturity and focus to the game. And my job is to help them become better players. Maybe understand the game better and create value for them as people and as players. I think that's our biggest job, and to help our defense improve by you know having our players play better. I think they could still do things better, but it's been a strong group of players thus far.
Ron, number eight, you touched most important. A lot of the recent recruits been brought in, they point out the fact of how happy the players are, how they come to work, how they want to come in, they help them work out, they like to be in there. Is that something that you see here that maybe other teams quite strong in other places?
The culture is very good. I think that's important. I think this program works hard at it, developing players on and off the field through relationships, and then setting good examples, for your players. I think this is an outstanding, staff of coaches that really relate well to the players, and it is a new era of football, and these relationships are important, and building a foundation with your players is critical, and having open dialogue with them. And my players have been very receptive. They've been very open. I've asked them a lot of trying to understand the system, why we, this is, why this is how I see it. Is this how you, I mean, so, it's very comfortable for me, and I think it's comfortable for them. I think it lets them be more open, more at ease, feel like they could ask questions, and, not feel any certain way, like it's not the right question. So you want them to be able to feel like they could be themselves and open. And I'm sure our relationships will go stronger as time goes on. But been very excited about these guys.
Leader. When you come into a situation, you got two senior linebackers, 50-year guys. I guess, how easy does that make your job? You're kind of easing into this and get back.
It makes it it makes it a little easier and enjoyable, and I lean on those guys, and they're very good. They understand what we're trying to accomplish and in this defense, and that's a good sign. So um, I've been, like I said, I've said that I've been very impressed with their overall knowledge. Their just everything about them has been pretty impressive. Like I said, I've been a lot of places, a lot of strong places, and these guys have the right demeanor to be outstanding, players.
Like Adam, Lucky Kentucky Sports Radio.
spent some time in Alabama in kind of an analyst role. Just curious, why do you think we're seeing so many coaches do that, and what do you kind of learn from that experience?
Well, I'm not going to, elaborate too much on Alabama. I thoroughly enjoyed my time there. I learned a great deal in football. I think you never stop learning. You better push yourselves to limits and try to see other ways of doing things if it's better. And if not, you're gonna die. And it happens to everybody. And it'll catch up to you if you stay in front. And that's probably the one thing I really enjoyed about my time with Coach Saban is just they push themselves to limits and push their guys to learn and to adjust and adapt and try to put themselves in the best situation for success. You still have to have great players and great design, but um, I think you can always learn. I think for me, taking a step back for 2 years was good. um, Things got, muddied at Oklahoma, and it was hard. It hurt in a lot of different ways. And, I had a chance to be with coach and, really just enjoyed my time there. I enjoyed learning. I enjoyed the process of they go through and what makes them, who they are. So that made it, every day was fun for me to go to work, and it was in a limited role for them, but I never felt that way. And coach, you no matter what your role is, it's significant to coach, and what he expects of you day in and day out. So that part was very meaningful to me, and I just try to bring ideas. If there's a better way of doing things, you learn. And they have certain ways they want to do things. Everyone has a style of defense they want to play. And, theirs is, there's some similarities. There's a lot of differences too. So, again, just learning different ways to do things and how to be adjustable, how to be adaptable, how to, do this, do that. Just learned I had a lot of questions and, because you watch them from afar, but you still have to have your own identity as a team, and you have to not try to be somebody you're not. And we had tried to make some adjustments when I was at Oklahoma to adapt to some of the things they were doing, but it was too late, and the rest is kind of history. And like you say, I'm just grateful for the opportunity and enjoyed being around good people. I think as coaches, I think we all enjoy being around good coaches and good people.
Talked a lot about evolving. Oh, Nick Roush, Kentucky Sports Radio. You talked about evolving. How have you seen Mark evolve as a coach, and what made this time right now for you to join him?
I've seen Mark, and I think that's part of the timing of it. Mark is his own person. I'm not his big brother, little brother. I work. He's my boss. We are brothers. We've done this before. We've done it, the other way with Bob. So we know what it's like. We know what to expect. But I actually work more with Coach White than anybody. I spend more time with Brad and looking at things and him showing me how and why we do things. But there's still a brother connection. But again, we've grown so much since the time we were together at Arizona. We're two very different people than we were back then. So, I think we know what to expect, some of the good things, the bad things, what's hard. But, I like being here. I've liked being with Mark, and it's fun to be with family. But, it seems like we're in a professional business that, again, um, we all have jobs to do. And I know what my job is. And you stay in your lane and you do your job the best you can. And that's what I plan on doing.
Mike Watts with WKY. You mentioned some of the guys coming back, a lot of talent, losing a couple of rocks, but the talent coming back. How good do you feel like this unit can be next year?
I think it was a mixture a year ago. I think you'll see. I know in a lot of positions we're young in the secondary. I think you'll see a lot of growth. Hopefully, in that category. I think there's some talented players. I think the middle part, those inside backers are very talented, and I think our edge guys will be, even better. I know JJ coming off a knee injury. Watching him 2 years ago, and then last year, I think he's hopefully he can stay, coming off that knee. It takes you a good year or so to come back to full strength. So, we feel good. I think the young guys inside, losing, a couple of those guys inside, and I thought 29 Euphis was an outstanding player as well. So there are going to be some tough guys. Josh Pascal was just a unbelievable player. We recruited Josh when I was at Oklahoma. Um, I just watch him, and boy, what an outstanding player he turned out to be. So I'm glad if we lost him, we at least lost him to Kentucky, even though I won't be here. So with him, but Josh had an outstanding career.
Mike John Hill, Career Journal. Just how closely did you follow Kentucky? Just because of Mark, or was it like you watched every single game they played? How familiar are you with the roster before you got here?
Not overly. There were some frustrating games I watched. I know I watched a couple Florida games that I got kind of frustrated with, but in the Missouri game, I remember last year after one of our games. So I watched a good deal. I would follow them pretty closely. I mean, more than probably any. When I was in the conference, I followed it well. So I have a good background. 2 years being in SEC gives you a pretty good background of who's who, and we did thorough reports on all these teams when I was at Alabama. So you have a pretty good DNA of each team, and even Kentucky. And I know we switched. We changed a lot offensively when I was there, but defensively, I think you evolve each year, and I think Coach White's done a good job of just evolving to the players and to the scheme and fitting it. And I think that's part of coaching, being able to adapt to your players, what they can and can't do. And we certainly have enough ways to attack defensively, in offense. But I was pretty familiar with their talent.
Daryl Burton, the Castles here in town. I know it's your first year of the program. Do you feel like you've kind of been a part of this whole process from the time Mark got here, just through phone conversations, family gatherings in Youngstown and so forth?
Well, Coach Edmond and Coach Hill probably deserve a medal. They've coached for 3 Stoopses now. They're the ones. So I tease Coach Edmond every day I see him about what's going on in the weight room. I said it's a lot different than when we started 22 years ago at Oklahoma. So those guys, they're the ones that really deserve all the credit, putting up with us all this time. So, but I was familiar with a lot of the coaches that have been through here, whether it was Eric, Michael Smith. I mean, a lot of guys have been on our staffs before. So I had a great rapport with a lot of coaches, on the staff, and knew a lot of these guys. So that's helped the transition for me as well. But it's a lot of good people. So yeah, being your brother, and being with you, and we have a pretty close family. You have a pretty good with Vince. Getting to know Vince even better has been. I would see him back in Youngstown. We would have family gatherings back there. So it's always fun. I played with Vince's brother. Coming out of against him, actually. He went to Wisconsin. I went to Iowa. So I've known Vince's family for a long time. So there's a lot of connections, a lot of, roots that go back to Youngstown. So it's been, it's been something that's been relatively easy for me to track.
Mike, I'm Mark Story from the Western Hill Leader. I believe you were here for 2018 when Kentucky played Georgia.
Yes, I was here for that game. Yeah.
Decided the SEC East.
Yeah. That was.
When Mark came here, in your heart of hearts, did you think he could get Kentucky, which had struggled for a fair amount of time, to that level?
Absolutely. I think there's a lot of similarities to when we went to Arizona. I mean, we won at Kansas State, we won at Iowa when no one thought. So that's been kind of our MO, really since we've been in this business. We've had to, work hard, do things a certain way, have an edge to you that, gives you an opportunity to win. Even though it's not always the most talented team that wins. So it's getting players to play, understand the rules, and be able to go out and have a game plan, be able to go out and execute, and have a certain amount of toughness and discipline about yourself to win. And that'll win you a lot of games when you learn not to beat yourself. And I think when we've probably lost, we probably what I mean, I know, turnovers or whatever, fumbles or whatever can really, hurt you in some tough situations. So, that's been that's been kind of, our MO since, we started this business, and we've seen it have success no matter where we've been. And we've won, at very high levels, and have people say overachieve. I don't know. I think we never went into a game where we didn't think we could win. I think that's important. I think players have to understand what it takes to win, and have that mindset. And that's what we try to build in our players every day. Have strong habits, have a strong will to compete. And if you do that, then you're going to give yourself an opportunity to play and play well and develop value in who you are, as a person and as a player. And that's big. That's big for us, and build our players up. And again, I think they have done that, and feel like they're, we're keep knocking on the door, and, hopefully, keep improving. Uh, so we still have, some steps to take, but, I don't think, our players are afraid of that going into that world. I think they're excited about it and look forward to it.
Two more. Anybody?
Mark, Rich was just talking about how when he was watching college football offenses, they had kind of gone back towards the NFL, away from the spread. Your family was obviously very known for the air raid even when Mark started here. How have you seen as a defensive coach that challenge kind of change in the way offenses have evolved in college football?
When I was at Oklahoma, it was very prolific for when I was there, Lincoln and whoever it was. But I think when Bob, some of his really good teams were more downhill, two tight ends. When Kevin Wilson, I have to go back. I'm I notice a little bit more of that trend now. I noticed it from, if you watch Georgia, if you watch any of Coach, and I don't mean Coach Saban's teams, they play a very physical brand of football. He's never going to get too far away from, even though, he's going to have some of that gun RPO, but he's going to build his offense around, his players' physicality. The line of scrimmage has to win games for you. And I think that's Georgia's DNA, that's Alabama's DNA, and that's what Coach Coach Mark wants his DNA to be. So, I like that. I think what they've done, I've watched these teams, run these offenses, and it's, I agree. I like what they do. They create, they create some formations that can be problematic, for you. But there's enough deception in what they do to create, some vision problems for linebackers. So again, I think it's been good. I think he with bringing coach in here a year ago, I think they caught on to something, and hopefully we can just build off of it. But I like the style, and I like the pass game off it. I think it gives players a chance to be successful. It's hard sometimes to press players in these tight, snug formations. So in getting people off you. So they've done a good job, I think, with the passing game and the running complementing each other.
Like, Mark's pretty tough, dude. I wonder how much credit you and the brothers get for how much you picked on him when you were little.
Oh, shoot, he was the baby. Come on, my mom babied Mark, and so and she was, yeah, you know how the littlest is. So, but yeah, Mark has done, really just proud of him, what he's been able to accomplish and overcome. It's not easy. And, I've been in these shoes, and, so just happy we're in a better place as a program, and knowing that we can still improve on where we're at. So, that part's fun, and I'm excited to be a part of it.
Right. We'll end on that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
All right.